Merry Meet! This is Lesson 4 of the Hermetic Qabalah course. We've covered some of the fundamental theories of the Luciferian Qabbalah and the Serpent's Path of Return, along with the spheres and their basic correspondences. Now it's time to begin the practical work of climbing the tree. This here is our Serpent Path. At the bottom is the sphere of Malkuth, where we exist in our so-called fallen or sleeping state. Da'at is that hidden sphere that is just below the supernal triad of Kether, Hokmah, and Bina, where we aim to awaken from our slumber. To achieve this, we follow the serpent path up the tree and out of the dream. As we follow the serpent, we open ourselves up. While the middle path is the fastest way up the tree, it can be challenging for us to achieve results rising up the middle pillar. Awakening suddenly or too quickly can evoke intense fear and so-called Kundalini experiences. Climbing the serpent path, however, is a much more gentle approach that allows for integration. The serpent path allows for a gradual awakening bit by bit. At any moment in your journey, you may awaken fully and rise to be one in your true home. Meanwhile, there's plenty work to do. Some people talk about pathworking upon the tree as a mysterious concept. Sometimes they warn about conjuring potentially dangerous forces by working the paths. Yet please keep in mind that the tree represents you. These are all different parts of you. The fact that you are unaware of your true self is simply because you've forgotten it. By climbing the serpent path, you are awakening to these different inner forces and integrating them gently and efficiently. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn from the 19th century has significantly influenced the symbolism of the Kabbalah widely used by modern magicians and witches. We often use the Golden Dawn's symbolism, such as their links to the Hebrew letters and tarot cards for the paths, as well as their color schemes. Using these familiar references makes things easier, but it's important to understand that you ultimately want to find your own way. You may decide that different tarot cards or colors, for example, make more sense to you. Like I've told you before, I prefer orange over yellow for Tifereth because it feels more fitting to me. Using the established symbolism helps us to align with all the existing Kabbalistic literature and helps us to avoid confusion. However, if you decide to go with different correspondences because they feel more appropriate to you, that's absolutely fine. Just try to be consistent. Let's discuss proceeding along the serpent's path. Even though all we have to do is work the paths in reverse numerical order, when we see the paths laid out on the tree, it looks like they might be out of order. But once you follow the serpent path and understand the sequence better, it makes sense. Looking at the diagram, you'll see that the serpent's tail is buried within Malkuth. It first rises up to touch path number 32. We work that path first. Next, it moves over and hits path 31, so we work that path next. Then it moves over path 30, so we work that path. And then it moves under path 25. When it moves under a path, we skip it, so we skip path 25. It then moves under path 28, so we skip that one. It hits path 29, so we work it. Then it moves back over path 28, so we work that path next. Then the serpent moves over path 27, we work that path next. It moves under path 25, so we skip it. It moves under path 26 and doubles back over it, so then we work path 26. It moves over path 25 next, so we work that, and so on. For ease, all you have to remember is to work the paths in reverse numerical order from path 32 to path 11. Whenever we work a path, the sphere that you're starting on is called the sphere of origin. The sphere on which your path ends is called your sphere of destination. Our first path, number 32, has Malkuth as its sphere of origin and Yesod as its sphere of destination. To work your pathworking sessions, you will need a fully colored diagram of the tree. You can download a blank tree if you register for this free course. If you aren't yet registered, simply go to arielgatoga.com/Qabala, arielgatoga.com/Qabala. And Kabbalah here is spelled Qabalah. Print out a blank tree and then use colored pencils, markers, or crayons to color the spheres and paths using the colors given in your handout. Keep this diagram for all of your pathworking sessions. Before you begin a session, make sure that you're in a comfortable chair and that your color diagram is in front of you. At the beginning of each session, you will call upon your lunar birth angel, the angel for the sphere of origin, and the angel of the sphere of destination for the path you're working. If you don't know your lunar birth angel, you can look it up by going to ariels-corner.com/birth-angel. That's ariels-corner.com/birth-angel. You'll also need a pathworking token. A pathworking token can be any small personal item. I personally use a ring that I wear as my pathworking token, but it can be anything, like a small crystal, gemstone, a rolled up necklace, anything that you like. After calling on your lunar birth angel and the angels of the sphere of origin and destination that you're working, you will place your token on the diagram on top of the path you are working on. The general procedure will be as follows. You will ground and center. Then you will verbally call your lunar birth angel and the angels of the sphere of origin and destination for your path. Then you will place your token on the path of your diagram in front of you. You'll then begin a silent inner chant of the God name for the sphere of origin. Continue this silent chant for the next several steps. You'll then visualize the color of the sphere of origin. Do your best to see nothing but this color in your mind. Next, you will see a portal or doorway before you in the color of the path that you're working. Walk through the portal or doorway and see that path's color and nothing else. After a few moments, let the color and silent chant subside. Then you will do any of your chosen work, which we will discuss in a little while. When you're ready to finish, you will begin to silently chant the God name for your sphere of destination. You'll continue this silent chant until your session is over. You will see a portal before you, the color of your path. Move through this portal or doorway and visualize the color for the sphere of destination. Let nothing but the color of the sphere of destination fill your mind for a few moments as you continue your inner silent chant. When you feel complete, just let the chanting and visualization fade and gently open your eyes and return to an awakened consciousness. Please note that if you have difficulty visualizing, don't worry. Simply let your eyes open gently and gaze upon the color of the sphere or path on the diagram in front of you. Let your mind be filled with that color as you gaze upon it to the best of your ability. Now, if you happen to have color blindness, don't worry about that either. Simply focus all of your attention on the God name that you are chanting silently. We will use Path 32 as our example so that this process can be clearer for you. You'll use the same process for each path. Path 32's sphere of origin is Malkuth, and the sphere of destination is Yesod. You will ground and center. If your lunar birth angel, for instance, were Raphael, you would start with a verbal prayer to Raphael, Sandalphon, the angel of Malkuth, sphere of origin, and Gabriel, angel of Yesod, sphere of destination. Avoid being too formal with your verbal prayer. Something from the heart is fine. Say something like, Raphael, Sandalphon, and Gabriel, please be here, guide me, protect me on my journey, and help me awaken gently as I walk along the way. Blessed be. Then you will place your token on the path of your diagram in front of you. The God name for this sphere of Malkuth is Adonai Ha-Aretz, which literally means Lord of Earth. At this point, you will simply close your eyes and establish an inner repetition silently of the God name for your sphere of origin. In this case, Adonai Ha-Aretz. You'll just keep chanting that silently in your mind, Adonai Ha-Aretz, over and over again. While you're doing that, you will mentally envision the colors of Malkuth. Now, Malkuth is the only sphere that has more than one color. So you will visualize black, then olive, then citrine, and then russet. You will try to see these colors as best as you can. If you're having trouble remembering the colors, or if visualization is challenging for you, just gently open your eyes and gaze at the sphere of Malkuth on your diagram. As you continue your silent chant, imagine a portal or doorway in front of you. This portal is colored the color of Path 32, black. Therefore, visualize a black doorway in front of you. As you continue chanting that God name, Adonai Ha-Aretz, silently, gently move through this black doorway and see the color of the path all around you, black. Feel nothing but black and see nothing but black as you continue to silently chant. When you feel complete with this, let the chant and the color subside from your mind. Now you are symbolically on Path 32, and it's time for you to do any actual work that you want to do. Some suggestions for different types of work will be discussed in a moment. Remember, you don't have to do everything in one session. You can work the same path daily for several weeks if you like. There is no rush. You can explore the path from many different angles before you feel like you're ready to move on to the next path. Once you've finished your work for the session, you will silently start chanting the God name for the sphere of destination. In this case, the sphere of destination being Yesod, the God name is Shaddai El-Chai. While you're visualizing the black of the path, start to chant Shaddai El-Chai repetitively in your mind. Then imagine a black doorway in front of you again. As you open this doorway and you move through it, you will see the color of the sphere of destination, which for Yesod is violet. Do your best once you move through the portal to see nothing but violet in your mind's eye, while chanting Shaddai El-Chai. When you feel complete, simply allow the vision and the mantra to subside. Take a moment to feel relaxed and centered, and open your eyes when you're ready to end your session. Here are some ideas for work while you're on the path. One technique I highly recommend during pathworking is practicing writing the Hebrew letter associated with the path. If you download my free booklet on the magic of Psalm 119, you will find some Hebrew letter practice sheets that you can print. For Path 32, you would simply practice writing the letter Tav. You can practice a full sheet of the Hebrew letter Tav over and over again. While practicing writing this letter, think about the virtues and vices of the sphere of origin. Malkuth's virtues include discrimination, while its vices include laziness, avarice, and inertia. Also reflect upon the virtues and vices of the path itself. Path 32's virtues include independence, and its vices include deception and idleness. Keep these in mind as you're practicing writing the letter for the path. Don't worry too much about considering the virtues and vices of the sphere of destination, as you will be working with those in later pathworking sessions. I also recommend incorporating psalm magic into your pathworking sessions. You can work with the verse from Psalm 119 associated with the letter of the path you're working on. For Path 32, this is Psalm 119, Tav. To learn more about working the Psalms magically, please refer to my free booklet on Psalm magic. Another activity that is very helpful when pathworking is reading related myths, fairy tales, and stories. For Path 32, the myths of Persephone, Orpheus, and Eurydice are perfect. You can see the handout for ideas for myths and fairy tales for each path. When I'm working with myths and stories, I find it most efficient to read the myth aloud and then go back and search for the story's inner symbols and meanings. This method is also used in working psalm magic. Also, each path is associated with a tarot trump. Sometimes in a session of pathworking, I will meditate on the trump card using a form of astral projection. I imagine myself inside the tarot card, immersing myself in the scene. For instance, the World card is associated with Path 32, so I would see myself in that card as the central figure depicted, Adam Kadmon, with the 4 protective cherubs surrounding me, the bull, the angel, the eagle, and the lion. I also have some recorded meditations that go along with each of the trump cards of the tarot. You might consider listening to the meditation which corresponds to the card for the path you're working. You can be as simple or elaborate as you like in your pathworking rituals. For instance, if you like burning incense, you can choose a scent associated with the path or with the spheres involved. In your handout, you'll see that each path has related tools, like a cauldron and cord for the 32nd path. You can place a cauldron and/or a cord on your altar if you like while you're working this path. Studying the correspondences for each sphere and path can help you to create your own rituals and activities. Another idea for pathworking is to work with the angelic squares and sigils from my booklet on the angelic squares. By working the squares for the archangel of the sphere of destination, you can find a tremendous vibrational resonance with that angel. In this case, Yesod is related to Gabriel, so you might create a square for Gabriel and use the technique for a numeric invocation as described in that booklet. Also taught in that booklet is how to make a sigil. And you could make a sigil for your name using the square of your birth angel and keep that sigil on your altar every time you're working your pathworking sessions. Another idea is to use the magic of the angelic signature for your sphere of destination in your pathworking. Simply download my free booklet on the angelic signatures and follow the simple procedures outlined in there related to the planet of the sphere of destination. Regardless of the type of work you're doing, before each pathworking, review the symbolism and the qualities of the path and the 2 spheres that it connects. This helps you to set the right mindset, making your pathworking more effective and activating the energies of the symbols. Consider the path, the 2 spheres, and the benefits you aim to achieve, allowing the work that you're doing to simply dissolve the vices. It's a wonderful idea to keep a journal to note your goals, achievements, and the effects you observe daily. Let the angels guide you. Sit quietly and let the process unfold. Reflect on the strengths you're absorbing and consider all the benefits that you are gaining. We will discuss the Qliphoth more fully in a later lesson. But suffice it to say that when you're eating some fruit or nuts, you must first deal with the peel or the shell. You don't want to bite directly into a walnut. You want to first crack its shell and eat the nut inside. And the same can be said to be true for the fruits on the Kabbalistic tree. The Qliphoth represents the idea that as we climb the tree and consume its fruits, we must discard the shells, symbolizing the vices and weaknesses which are being shed. This process helps us to access and benefit from the fruit of each sphere. By calling upon the archangelic powers, we can release these shells and access the nourishment within each sphere. This journey is often a subtle one. You don't always need profound revelations to progress significantly in ascending the tree. The benefits often happen in the invisible world long before you see any physical changes in your life. By working the pathworking sequence and engaging in the various rituals and practices we've discussed, you help the angels to assist you in accessing your deep mind, absorbing the strengths of the spheres, consuming their fruits, and gently discarding their husks. Take your time. There's no rush. If it takes weeks to feel ready to move from one path to another, that's fine. Only you and your guiding angels can decide the right timing. As you get to know these teaching angels better and understand how they help you to embrace your strengths and dissolve your excess baggage and attachments, you'll feel like a brand new person much sooner than you ever expected. I recommend that you spend at least 1 full year completing all 22 paths. Rushing through this process is never advisable. The first time you climb the tree, you will be doing it in the world of earth, or Asiya. The second time you climb the tree, you'll be doing it in the world of air, or Yetzirah. The third time you'll be doing it in the world of water, or Bria. And the fourth time you'll be doing it in the world of fire, Atziluth. Therefore, after 4 years or so, you will have climbed the tree in all 4 worlds. Once you've completed all 4, you can even start all over again. This solidifies your knowledge and mastery even further. Many Kabbalistic schools have entirely different correspondences for the trees in each world. However, from our perspective, this degree of complexity is unnecessary. The succession of worlds in pathworking happens organically all by itself. You don't need to direct that. Just allow the process to unfold organically. All you have to do is work using the sequence outlined in this lesson for each path, and feel free to engage in any of the rituals and activities which sound interesting to you. It's the deep meditation on the God name and the colors in the presence of the angels which does the work, solidifying the strengths of each sphere and dissolving the shells. Don't worry about doing it right or wrong. Just call upon the angels, do your best to follow the sequence as outlined, and let the transformation happen organically. You will see the benefits as you move forward in the process. I hope you enjoy beginning your pathworking journey. Until next time, blessed be.